You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 19th day of July, 2016. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. Sure you're all, I'm sorry to tear your attention away from the convention, but we won't keep you long today. We're going to get to Michael real quick because he has a couple meetings this afternoon. The numbers, these are cash numbers starting in the U.S. The Dow Jones down 22 points, NASDAQ down 19, S&P down 7, Russell 2000 down 2.5. So nothing severe, nothing major, but definitely all red. So, I mean, you can see my screen, it's just been pretty quiet. I keep saying it's as if the markets are waiting for something. I just don't know what this something is. We'll see. crude oil down 36 cents a barrel, and gold up today, $3.30. Again, just like the markets, we had a situation a couple weeks ago where stocks were quiet, but we were getting some really nice swings in the commodities. Now, it's just quiet. In Asia, Nikkei up 225. Shanghai down 7 points. Hang Seng down 129. And in Europe, the DAX is down 81. The FTSE is up 2 points. And the CAC is down 27. So that's it from Europe to Asia to right here in our own backyard, including commodities. Things are just quiet. You know, maybe everybody else has their attention on the convention. We'll talk a little bit about the convention here shortly, but first we're going to go to Michael, let him take care of his recap, because he's got the regular Tuesday meeting for those who are on the free trial, and then he has another meeting following up right after that. So we want to move quickly. Michael, if you're ready, you can take it away.
Okay. All right. I am ready. Let me bring that over there. And oops, I gotta change my name. Thought I did that, but I guess I didn't. There. Now.
The biggest news, of course, out of the convention so far is that Melania, Trump's wife, copied Michelle Obama's speech from 2008 or something. Wow. And I said we were going to have a horse race. So anyway, it's all yours. I'll hit mute on my end.
All right. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 19th day of July, 2016. Today in the live trading room, you can see we had a yellow day. A yellow day means we ended positive, but we did not get our goal for the day. Okay. We lost 7 ticks in soybeans. We made 5 ticks on the euro. We lost 8 ticks in the YM. We made 3 ticks in crude and 10 ticks in gold. And today we took 15 trades. Okay, so on the month now we're up $2,238. That's gross profit over 12 trading days, averaging $186 a day. If you were to apply an $8 commission to every trade we've taken, you'd have a net profit of $662. And if you applied a $5 commission, you'd have a net profit of $1,253. On the year now, our total is $33,111.50. That's over 134 trading days, averaging $247 per day. $247 per day. Hello, John. I'm still in a gold trade that I put on it. See, at the end of the live trading room, I put this gold trade on. That would have gotten me the gold for the day right there. But it doesn't count. Anyway, let me lock in some profit on that. Let's go to the next thing. The next thing would be, where is it? Okay. If you have not taken our free trial, then just go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. And in the right-hand column where it says register for a free trial, put in your name, put in your email, click on register for a free trial. When you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click the confirmation link, okay? If you don't click that confirmation link, we don't know that you wanted a free trial. All right. So let's start out. Today we'll start out with the YM. Okay. We have just a couple of trades on the YM. This one right here that we stopped out on. this one that we had a break even on, this one that we missed, this one that we missed. And then during the break, it looks like a momentum short trade right there. And that's it. So on the YM, we had 2 trades and we were minus 8 ticks. Minus 8. Okay. And gold, not counting the trade that I have on right now, that we put on back here at 32. Actually, it was right here at 32. Sorry. Anyway, not counting that trade, which I actually just got taken out of. This is what we had. All right, our first trade on gold was right here. We made 1 tick profit on that. The next trade was right over here. We made 8 ticks profit there, putting us at plus 9. And 1 more tick here, putting us at plus 10. And that's where we ended on the gold. I did take a trade here, but I'm not counting that toward the total. And that was pretty much it. I mean, things are really, really quiet. Really quiet. Alright, on the ES, it was a long trade here that would have been a break even, and a long trade here that would have been a momentum long. Again, break even at best. Nothing else in there. On crude oil, let's see, on crude, right here we made 1 tick profit, and over here we made 2 more, putting us at plus 3. Okay, looks like there was a bounce in here, and that was it. That was it on the crude. Soybeans. Alright, now I highlighted these, but they were pre-market. Well, this one wasn't. There was a momentum short here and here on the soybeans that I didn't get into. There was a nice short right up here in the pre-market that I missed. Then I finally did get short here, and it stopped me out. And then I had a break-even trade there, another break-even trade there, and plus 1 there, putting me at minus 7. Okay, and during the break, nothing. And the euro. This is going to be like the fastest recap ever, because in the euro, we just had break-even trade here, 1 tick there, put me at plus 1, 1 tick there, put me at plus 2, 3 ticks here to put me at plus 5, and a break-even there. And that was it. During the break, just 1 short trade right here during the break. Okay. And that was it. So, like Dwayne said, everything is just really quiet and flat. If you look at the ES on a larger time frame, we were in pretty much a 4-point range all morning so far today. Okay, if you look at it like an hourly, just look at that mess right there. See, so we got a high today of 58.5 and a low of 53. So 5.5 point range right there. And that covers all the way back to, well, 6 a.m. That's just slow. Alright, so again, if you have not taken a free trial with us, just go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. And in the right-hand column where it says register for a free trial, put in your name, put in your email, click on register for a free trial. When you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Did I know if you want to change around? Yeah, that's true. That's true, John. Okay. And the recap. Yellow day today. That means we ended positive, but we did not get our goal for the day. Okay, so we were minus 7 on soybeans, plus 5 on the euro, minus 8 on the YM, plus 3 on crude, and plus 10 on gold. Okay. And on the month now, we're up $2,238. It's over 12 trading days, averaging $186 a day. On the year, We're up $33,117. That's over 134 trading days, averaging $247 per day. 247 per day. Okay. And that's it for the recording. So now, Phoenix, if you are there.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if this email came to both of us or just to me. Let me look. Yeah, you got it too. Howard needs some clarification on
I
OTAD
responded.
numbers. Oh, you already did that? Okay.
Yep, I did.
Alrighty. Fantastic. So, we had 2 bumpy days in a row.
We did.
It happens.
We did. You know, if that last trade that I put on in gold, if I could have counted that toward the total, I'd have had the goal for the day. But I put it on, and then we ended the live trading. Because I got 8 ticks profit out of it. It is what it is, you know. It was a yellow day during the live trading room period.
I have, on numerous occasions, had people tell me whenever we had a rough day in the trading room that was actually more encouraging to them than when we had killer days, because I could tell that it really that what I was seeing was no sleight of hand, but it was actually real.
Yeah.
It was real, and I'm more impressed than ever now. Sorry you had a rough day, but I know that what you're teaching and sharing with people is the real deal. And so I want to give me some of that. And so I said, well, come on. Sign on the dotted line.
Well,
okay,
that's
those
it.
of you that are on the trial this week, you want to make sure and go to the meeting this afternoon.
Yep, you've been sent a link already.
Okay, in case you don't have the link, you know how to get a hold of Michael. And let me grab the screens. Okay. Now, I got to tell you guys, just based off of what you see here on my S&P chart, I mean, this is kind of the market malaise all around. So I don't have a lot to impress you with today. I'll just show you what really happened. By the way, those of you that are tuning in for the first time, if you can't, are you still there, Mike?
Yep, I am.
Do you hear like a wind tunnel in the background? No? Okay, good. Because if you did, it was going to be a long summer.
No.
I got a fan blowing, and I thought, I think that's going to be a little too much. But all right, good. Excellent.
No. It sounds normal.
All right. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All righty, guys. Well, if you were tuned in last night, I was going to tell the new person, any new people who might be tuned in for the first time, if you cannot see the chart that I have up, if you're just listening to the audio and you want to see the charts, although again today there's just not a lot to see, but that's because of the market, not me. Go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions, click where it says watch live now. You only have to register once each month. Okay? It's hard to believe we've just flown through July. Today's already the 19th. But if you register today, you're good through the end of the month. And then come 1st of August, we all have to do it once again. Okay? But it's 30 seconds for however many days, depending upon which day of the month you choose to get registered. But register once, and then What will happen is you'll get an email each morning, 1 hour before the show starts, and it'll say, reminder, the CFRN show starts at 12 noon. When you're ready to join the show, click here. So you've got one-click access. Now, turning back to the big Republican convention. You know, we've been talking about this for a year now. When the convention comes, and remember we started out with 16, 18 people up on that Republican stage, and although, I mean, it was thought possible that Donald Trump could be the last man standing, or last person standing, but he actually was and is. And I suppose there's no more playing games with whether or not he is the presumptive. He's now the real deal. Hopefully, he's going to be the next president of the United States of America. Not because I necessarily think he's the best man for the job. It's just that I think that the other person will absolutely destroy America. And I think folks on the other side of the aisle feel the exact same way. They don't think that their candidate's a superhero, but they think the other party will destroy the country. So, now, a little drama dropped last night. And when questioned today, you know what? I've got two different articles regarding this. Maybe this one will cut to the quick a little more, and maybe we'll just cut to the quick. The story about Melania, if you haven't heard, well, everybody else has. Melania Trump plagiarized Michelle Obama's 2008 speech. They're calling it Speechgate. In part feels like one of those idiotic media catnip campaign stories that sucks up all the oxygen so we don't talk about the important things. It's not. Alright, now, I chose the article that takes sort of a hard slant against the Republicans. Why? I don't know. See who I could rile up, I guess. The heading of this article is, "This is why Melania Trump's plagiarism matters." Okay. Now, Melania and Michelle, both attractive women. Melania was a supermodel at some point. I don't think Michelle ever wore that badge, but they've both been considered would be considered attractive women by anyone's opinion. But this is why it's a big deal, according to this article. So I guess really I want to know what it is the other side thinks. Alright. Like so many aspects of the 2016 presidential campaign, Speechgate is stupid. But discussing this stupid episode is not a waste of time. Speechgate is important because of two things it tells us about what sort of president Donald Trump would be and what important mistakes he would make for the same reasons his campaign made this trivial mistake. Trump lacks much of the knowledge and experience that we would usually expect in a president. Because of this, Trump is supposed to hire the best people to advise and support him. Yet his campaign couldn't even prevent a boneheaded screw-up like this? What would the idiots he hires to staff his presidential administration screw up? This is a harsh article. The Trumps are apparently so full of it that Melania, or whoever wrote Melania's speech, needed to steal totally anodyne language about how hard work is good, and we should teach our children that. They couldn't even put those sentiments in their own words. Then once people noticed the theft, the campaign strategy has been to make the obviously false claims that there was no plagiarism, that these are just common phrases. This tells us that as president, Trump won't just lie, he'll lie unconvincingly to anyone about anything for any reason or no reason. How will that work out in negotiations with Congress and foreign governments? If you're too inept to run a presidential campaign, you're too inept to run a country. That's why Speechgate matters. Well, I guess we're going to be forced to go to the other article to find out exactly what she said. I tried to take the high road, folks. Alright. Donald Trump's campaign on Tuesday downplayed the overt similarities between Melania's speech to the Republican National Convention on Monday and the First Lady Michelle Obama's 2008 Democratic National Convention speech. Now, I don't doubt that Melania's handlers had her watch some videos. Now, this isn't from the article. This is just me thinking. Because, number one, English is not Melania's first language. She's from Slovenia, I think. So, okay, number one, she's overcoming that hurdle. But she's a pretty smart lady. She speaks 5 languages. And her English is not bad, but just keep in mind it's not her first language. And so, to have her watch a series of videos all the way from Jackie O up through Barbara Bush, up through Ms. Reagan, up through, Michelle, to get a feeling and an understanding and a flow of what a presidential first lady, how they stand, how they hold themselves, how they speak, etc. Now, there's more to that thought, but let me go back to the article. In a series of early morning media appearances, top campaign officials and surrogates shrugged off the controversy which emerged after observers noticed striking similarities between a section of the 2 speeches. On CBS this morning, campaign chair Paul Manafort denied that Melania Trump lifted any of Michelle Obama's speech, saying there were not that many similarities. He also alleged that Melania Trump may have lifted from Michelle Obama's speech subconsciously. Now that's what I'm getting at right there, the subconsciously part. If you've spent the last week, a couple hours a day watching these videos of these first ladies give these important speeches, you hear it over and over. Certain bits and pieces, fragments start to stick in your subconscious, and you begin to find your own voice. And out of your own voice comes a few notes that sound an awful lot like Barbara Bush or Michelle Obama. Okay? Alright. It's basically 3 places in the speech, and it's fragments of words, Manafort said. He added there was nothing that she did in that speech that she thought was any words but herself. Manafort defended the speech writing process, which he described as a collaboration. Oh, now, keep in mind, that's true. She was using a teleprompter. Okay, this wasn't an off-the-cuff speech like the Donald gives, but she actually had a prepared speech to read from. There was nothing that she did in that speech that she thought was any words but herself. Manafort defended the speech writing process, which he described as a collaboration between Melania and the campaign, and said that he can't remember what Obama said 8 years ago. Now, I would be hard-pressed to find anyone who could remember, unless you had been watching those videos over and over to get the flavor and feel of what a First Lady's supposed to look and sound like. We're talking about compassion, love of family, respect. These are not words that belong to the Obama family, Manafort said. Now, I didn't hear her entire speech, but I heard parts of it, and I was very, very impressed. So, in a press conference this morning, the campaign chair alleged that presumptive Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's campaign was responsible for finding the clip. It's just another example, as far as we're concerned, that when Hillary Clinton is threatened by a female, the first thing she does is try to destroy the person. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who was considered as a potential running mate for Donald Trump, defended Trump's wife on the Today Show this morning. He said that the Trump campaign was trying to do a lot of things at one time, and added that he would not describe the speech as plagiarized. Not when 93% of the speech is different than Michelle Obama's speech. Now, let's keep in mind that they're both standing up there talking about the same thing. Hey, I want my husband to get elected. He's a great man. He's a great father, great husband. And I think he'll do great things for this country. You see what I'm saying? They're both talking about the same thing. So if Melania had never heard Michelle Obama's speech, I'm saying if, I'm pretty sure she has, but if she had never heard it, just because they're talking about the exact same thing, it's only natural that some of it's going to sound pretty much the same. I mean, let's hold it up and compare it. Let's hold it up and compare it to some of the other Republican convention speeches. But we won't. And that phone will get answered by itself. Okay. I know Melania. I think she worked very hard on that speech, and a lot of what I heard last night sitting on the floor sounded very much like her and the way she speaks about Donald all the time. That's from Chris Christie. Top Republicans are hoping that the story will get buried by news from convention speeches on Tuesday. At a breakfast in Cleveland hosted by Bloomberg Politics, Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus speculated that the story would fizzle out by the afternoon, but advised the campaign to fire the speechwriter. Some of these things are pretty common types of themes, Priebus said. The distraction gets you off message a little bit this morning, but I think we'll get back to action this afternoon. Democrats were quick to denounce the lifted lines from the speech. In an interview on CNN, Democratic National Committee Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz said the Trump campaign's denial that the speech was plagiarized raises a larger question about the campaign's integrity. Anytime they are caught red-handed engaging in distortions, inaccuracies, a fact pattern that is clearly not accurate, they blame someone else, Schultz said. And so they should be prepared to be held accountable for the content of anything delivered from the stage of the Republican National Convention. In a statement early Tuesday morning, senior Trump advisor Jason Miller said Melania Trump's team of speechwriters took notes on her life's inspirations and in some instances included fragments that reflected her own thinking. Said Miller, Melania's immigrant experience and love for America shone through in her speech, which made it such a success. Now, that was my takeaway from the little bit that I saw, was the fact that she seemed genuinely happy to be an American, to live in the land of the free and the home of the brave, all of that good stuff. I mean, it just seemed so genuine to me. And you notice that in neither one of those articles, interestingly enough, it just dawned on me, that they didn't line out exactly what it was that she lifted from Michelle's speech. So, I guess we've made more than enough of that. And now we move on. It never ceases to amaze, from John B. It never ceases to amaze me, Dwayne, how all of the good points Mayor G and Madam Trump stated last night that many in the press only want to cover some nonsense about plagiarism. Can the bias be more obvious? Well said. Melissa says the words are too close for me not to consider it plagiarism. And I do expect better from a potential First Lady. First Ladies often stand for education and a focus on our children. This doesn't set a good example of doing your own good work for our kids. Well, I guess I'll have to take the time and have a look or a listen and see, render my own verdict as to whether or not I think it was. I mean, what would the point be in plagiarizing Obama, Michelle Obama? I mean, what's the point? There's too many words in the English vocabulary. You know, put them in a blender, hit puree, and come out with your own speech. Use all the same words, and nobody will ever blame you for plagiarism on that. It would be ludicrous to intentionally plagiarize her. But I respect your opinion, Michelle. I do, and I will have a. That's why I was surprised that they didn't, in either of the articles, talk about exactly what was said that was plagiarized. But I see you gave me a link there on. No, well, and then Melissa went on to say, I do like Melania. It just disappointed me. Okay, that's really a fair statement that you do like her, and it kind of bothered you because you expected more. All right. Well, then I certainly owe it to myself and to the audience here to have a listen, and then determine, after I have a listen, how close could it be to accidental, or do I have to walk away and honestly go, well, man, that was, plagiarism. So, all right, Frederick, Mrs. Trump was set up. The Clintons knew what she was going to say, And within 1 hour, all the news media had video footage of Mrs. Obama's 2008 speech. The Clintons paid off the speechwriter. I would not put it past them. Ooh, Frederick, light me up. No. Now, that's interesting. That's a real interesting thought. I love a great conspiracy theory. It doesn't mean I believe them, I just love them. So within an hour, they had it clipped, they had it all ready to roll. It, no sooner left her lips than they nailed it and had it ready to show to America. Could someone have paid off the speechwriter to intentionally put that in there? You've heard of dirty politics? Well, that's pretty dirty. But is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. And would I put it past the Clintons? Not at all. Not at all. Melissa says, I agree with you, Dwayne. Amazing how close she could get. If it wasn't plagiarism, so many words and ways to share the message. Right. Yeah. I mean, to intentionally do that, because you could take all the same words and you mix them up a little bit and rearrange the sentences, and now nobody can claim plagiarism. Bob's thanks. Bob says you will be shocked. It's pretty much dead on. Really. Frederick says House of Cards. Oh, is that something that happened on? I haven't watched that show. My wife, she started to watch it. I think she said it was a little too raunchy for her, and so I didn't bother to look at it. Or I don't know. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one we did watch. There was one of those White House shows that there was just too much gratuitous sex, and we don't really enjoy that. So, Karen says, hey Karen, the idea of being encouraged by your parents to work hard and accomplish great things, and then to hope to pass on the same inspiration to our next generations are such basic hopes. How can anyone claim to have a proprietary claim to these ideas? God bless Melania Trump. Now that's what I was talking about. Every woman that has stood on that stage since America became a nation and we had a Republican and Democratic convention, the potential First Lady has stood and made a speech. And I bet if you lined them all up end to end, I bet you'd find a whole lot of similarities in them. Bob Z, she says she wrote it too. Well, no. They talk about the team of speechwriters who wrote it, and they talk about that she injected some of her thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and they were put into the speech. So, that, I don't know. I really appreciate what you just said, Karen. That's very good. Thank you so much. All right. I guess, guys, let me just give you these numbers from today. The trade alerts from last night, because just a quiet market. If I'm not mistaken. No, I didn't do that, did I? Oh, goodness gracious, I did. Alright, you have to give me a minute now. Oh, our good word for the day too. We'll leave that out. Maybe that's why I accidentally closed my browser and lost everything. Because I was about to skip over the good word for the day. Alright, got that rolling, got this rolling. We be rolling. Alright. Good word for the day. Psalm 51:17. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. Brokenness produces character. Whenever we go to God with a broken and contrite spirit, we really do get his attention. Okay? Not just this lip service, this stop and drop, hit one knee, belt out a quick plea, and then off and running without waiting to listen for an answer. When we submit to God's dealings in our lives, he empowers us to reach our full potential by gently breaking areas of our stubborn will that need to be submitted to him. As these areas are broken, his power within us is released and things begin to change for the better. Power and talent without character and direction have destroyed many a man and woman. You probably know some of them. So be warned. Unless your talent is governed by character, you are headed for trouble. A horse may come from a line of blue ribbon champions, but until its will has been broken, its power endangers itself and those around it. You'll notice two important things about a thoroughbred champion horse. Number one, it hears many voices during the race, but it has learned to respond to only one, the voice of its rider. And that's God's plan for you and for me. You'll get a lot of opinions. Yesterday we talked about the voice of many advisors. Be careful with that one. Don't just keep asking until you find somebody. If you ask enough people, somebody will agree with you. So you have to be careful with that one. This one today, we're talking about something a little different. You'll get a lot of opinions, but to win in life, you must be led only by God. So, yes, God will speak to you through other people, men and women, preachers, pastors, Sunday school teachers, friends, loved ones will speak truth into your life. Okay? But the ultimate test is when the Holy Spirit confirms what that person has spoken into your life. Because it was the Holy Spirit giving them unction to speak it into your life. That's when you know. That's when you know. Now, you'll get a lot of opinions, but to win in life, you must be led only by God, and that calls for humility. He guides the humble in what is right and teaches them his way. Psalm 25:9. Its power is realized and its full potential released only when it can be harnessed and directed. So is God breaking you in similar fashion? Is he putting his harness on you and saying, you can't live like that anymore, or do your own thing, because I have plans for you? The word for you today is, you do not belong to yourself. For God bought you with a high price, so you must honor God. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. When you want to get serious with God, you will come before him with a broken and contrite spirit. And it's in that openness and in that honesty, through the power of the Holy Spirit, that God will speak to you, that you will hear from God, and that you'll know what it is you're supposed to do, that you have to do, and it very well may be not what you want to do, but that's okay. It's the voice of God, and it's giving you direction, and you know it's him. And now, there's a lot of people around the world today claiming to hear the voice of God, Allah, and they're doing some pretty heinous things. Okay? The God of the New Testament, which, by the way, is a little different than the God of the Old Testament. Okay? God of the New Testament. I'm not saying they're two different people, but you either understand what I'm talking about or not. We don't serve a God who instructs us to take the life of a non-believer, but to wash his feet. How different. How different. One, you chop their head off. The other, you wash their feet. Well, that's our good word for the day, and that's an awful lot to think about. Remember, brokenness produces character. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. Psalm 51:17. Okay. And we got more from Bob Z. Shortly before a storm of plagiarism accusations, Melania Trump told NBC News that she crafted most of her Republican National Convention speech with little assistance from campaign staff. I read once over it, and that's all because I wrote it and with as little help as possible. The would-be First Lady. No, I lost you, Bob. Hang on. There you are. The would-be First Lady, accompanied by her husband, told NBC anchor Matt Lauer in an interview on Donald Trump's private jet shortly before her speech Monday night. Several lines of the speech appeared to be copied word for word from Michelle Obama's 2008 speech for the Democratic Convention. Oh, Bob, you got nothing better to do. All right, I'll take a look at your link just to humor you, just to humor myself. Let's see if it'll come up. Probably won't. It'll probably tell me I gotta log in or something. That took me to a Google search page. How that happen? Yeah. All right, we'll try this one more time. Just for you, Bob. Alright, we're gonna pass.
My parents in
Oh, it starts to play. One of the links I clicked started to play the whole speech. And because audio and video comes from two different computers, I'll let everyone in the audience who hasn't heard it themselves, I'll let them. All you gotta, trust me, all you gotta do is search Google for Melania's speech and you'll find there's more articles than you can count. People ask me when I sleep, good Lord, when do these other people sleep? I mean, I haven't even had a chance to hear the whole speech, and yet they've already figured out she plagiarized it, what words she stole. Man. Alright, let's get rolling here. You know me, busy guy, places to go and things to do. Here's what we were looking for. Monday night, last night, and today we were looking to buy 2165 if given the opportunity, or sell 2147. It's not too many days that we don't get a trigger in the S&P. I mean, what's our high? This is basically midnight. We got a high at 2158. We got a low at 2151. We got a 7-point range for the most part on the day. If we were to go back to we went back to the open last night at 8 o'clock, that would give it a little more. 2160, 20, 9. Okay, so 9 points. The 9-point range for the whole day. And do you remember not too long ago, we'd catch 9 points in an hour? And I remember back then saying, guys, this may seem a little volatile now, but take advantage of it, because the time will come when things get a little sleepy. I wasn't planning on this snooze fest, but it's what we have. S&P is just basically flat for the day. If we stuck a fork in the middle of it, 2155. It's about middle of the range. And let's go to the Dow. More of the same. Now, this vertical line is where I dropped last night. 1015. That vertical line's at 2030. And on the Dow, we were looking for 460 or 400. We actually caught 460 right here. 460, and so we had like a 6-point pop there. 15. And 11. Okay, and on the short side, 18,400, we got nothing. Okay, so the S&P and the Dow, just nothing to write home about. If we go to gold, we do have a little something to talk about. Not much. GGCQ, we're looking to buy 33, sell 28. There's 33, which on the first move took us up $250 per contract. And then you can see we popped up a couple more times. Here we get up to 34.4. So that's another $100 per contract. There is another $130 per contract. So a little something, but not a lot of anything. Here on the sell side, 1328, the initial 30-minute candle, $220 per contract. And then here we're talking about $70, and we're talking about $100. Okay. No, this was all one move here, because this popped back up, and no, it popped all the way back up and came down again. So it's kind of like leftovers, you know, these are the leftovers of the move. All right, next on the list here is bonds. Okay. So if we went out, that was 2230. 2230. I don't think it's gonna matter. So let's just see what the numbers are. Okay. ZBU6. $172.26 on the buy side. $171.21 on the sell side. Okay, within one tick of triggering. So we have no trigger. We have no trigger on the S&P. No, had a couple triggers on the Dow and on gold. No trigger on bonds. Now we have rolled forward in crude, although I haven't rolled this chart. I'll do it right now. There's a lot of ways to do it, or a couple ways to do it. One of them is, let's see. Of course, you can just type it in. Right here, roll forward. And that takes us to GCLU. So now we're in September crude. Okay. All right. Okay. GCLQ by 45.90, sell 45.50. So could you be a buyer at 45.90? Yes, you could indeed. Need a tune-up, I think. All right, 45.90. We got up to 46.03. So that's a whopping 13 ticks, but it is enough to give you your points for the day. If you're trading the 2420 blueprint, and you're just looking to make your $100 per contract per day. So there you go. Now this is a little more substantial. You got up to 46.38. 46.38 minus 45.90. So we got 48 ticks. Which works out to be $480 per contract available. Okay, now we don't get out at the exact swing high or low because it doesn't stay there long. We trail our stop, whether we're using an auto trail or manually trailing it. That's how we do it. Okay, the sell side on September crude 45.50, and we've got a swing low here of 46 and 46. So those were good for basically getting you stopped out. Question is, where were you going to put your stop on this? Okay, and got to ask yourself, what are you going to risk? All right, what are you going to risk? And then determine whether you would have been stopped out on that trade or not. ZSX soybeans. All right. ZSX. Sell 1053. Actually, this would have started right here. All right, 1053 on this first drop. We made it down to 48 and a quarter. So 48 to 53. To 53 would be 5, so it would be 4.75. So that's 4 3/4 points, or pennies, times $50 per. Okay, that's what was available. All right. That was just on the first move. And then we get moved back up another, and down we come again, and this time we roll all the way down to 1023. Okay. So 1053 minus 1023. That's 30 cents. Now that's 30 cents times $50. Available. Okay. $1,500. Per contract. Should have added that in there too, but good enough. Don't need to look at the daily on gold. NQ. Sort of an odd little move here. Came out right at 9:30. Alright. So on the NQ, we're looking to buy 172. No, we weren't. How about 4607? 4607. That's 1 1/4. 3 3/4. And sell 45.98. So if you sell 45.98, got a swing low here of 45.89. So that's an 8.5 point move on the Russell. I think we've got yet more of the same, which is not a lot. It'll turn, it'll change. It never stays quiet too very long. A couple years ago, it got a little scary for about 3 months, but I don't think we're headed, as we head into November, that we're picking up here. Alright, on the Russell, let's do this. A buyer at 1205. Just enough to get stopped out. What does this go to? 1205.2, 1205.1. Rough day for the market. Rough day for me. Seller at 1201. Okay. One thing you know you're going to get here, you're going to get the truth, whatever it is. 1201. Alright. So the swing low here was 99.2. So that would be $180 per contract. And then we have a swing low here, which would be $120 per contract. And then we've got a swing low here, 1201 down to, let's see, we got a low of 95.80, so roll it up to 96. So we got about 50 ticks. At $10 per. Alright, so this is about a $500 drop so far on the Russell. So I hope you got some of that, because there just wasn't much else to get anything up today. And the S&P still snoozing away. Alright. Well, listen, guys. I guess that's going to do it. Let me check the chat box one last time. We've hit all the bases. Some days are just quiet. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. We'll stir up some excitement tomorrow, somehow, some way. But thanks for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-host, and guest. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.